Subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss an update from ETimes TV.
Mandira Bedi, thank you so much for joining me on ETimes.
Vicky, you and I, we go back many, many, many years. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much, Mandira. Thank you. Just before settling down for this interview, I was going through your Instagram posts, and what really caught my eye are some of the quotes which you have put out. And I just want to quote you, the ones which you have put out. You say that, your strength does not have to look like anybody else's. The second one which caught my eye is that ticking off boxes. The third, things are exactly the way they were meant to be. 4, beginning again just doesn't mean you have failed. Now, this is something really, Mandira, I want to ask you that how have you, adapted, or rather, how have you gone about putting up these posts? What gives you this inner strength?
Well, I've been putting up these posts for a long time in terms of, these little handwritten quotes, these notes. It's got something to do with the way I'm feeling at that particular point of time. So I'm pretty much like an open book, because what I'm feeling is, reflected in what I'm writing, or the thought. It could be an affirmation. It could just be a thought for the day. But, a lot of people complain about how negative social media is. But for me, I look at it as a very positive place. It's like a digital diary of sorts, where I put my thoughts out, I put my work out, and I put my workouts out also. So it's a space of positivity for me, and it's a space of reflection for me. And whatever I'm going through at that particular point of time, like, ticking off boxes was put out on a day where I had so many things that I needed to get done, and so many boxes that I needed to tick off. And it was just, I thought of it at that particular point of time. I go find a piece of paper, I quickly write what I'm thinking, take a photograph of it, and then color correct it and put it out there. So also, I believe I'm a work in progress, and I'm constantly reinventing, relearning, redoing, restarting. So, when you begin again, in whatever it is that you're beginning again with, it doesn't mean you failed. It means you're ready to learn again. You're ready to start, because I think that it's never too late to start, never too late to begin again, never too late to start something new, never too late to acquire knowledge about something, or learn something new. So these quotes are pretty much a reflection of where I'm at in my head. And as I said, I think social media can be used very, very positively. When I put stuff out, it gives me motivation to do better, to do what I'm saying, to do what I'm writing about. So that's how I look at it. It's a space of positivity for me, and as much as possible, I try to use it that way. And it's a reflection of where I am mentally and emotionally as well.
The fifth quote which caught my eye, and I kept it separately, is prayers and grace and gratitude. Now, what I want to ask you here is, Mandira, that in tough times which you have had, how is your relationship with God? In general, take any human, I would say. We talk to God. We ask him questions. How do you still maintain that, calmness around those questions, which you ask, if at all?
This last little while, last few years, I think I lived by gratitude. When things have happened in my life that were unexpected, or that didn't go as per the way we like life to go, even then there's some grace in that. There's some plan, God's plan in that. And so for a little while I was, with all that I've been going through, for a little while I was, I took a break from prayer. But I always believed, and this is a part of my affirmations, things are exactly the way they're meant to be. And so, I went back on my path. I live by gratitude. I live with gratitude. I bow my head down and say thank you all the time for all that is and all that isn't. Before I wake up in the morning, before I, open my eyes, I say thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you for the food on my table. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my children's health. I mean, if you sit down to list the things that you have to be grateful for, the list is never ending. So I live by gratitude. I live with thanks. Every step of the way, there's always something to be thankful for. So, prayers and gratitude and His grace and His divinity is what keeps me going. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. I don't believe in why is this happening to me, or I don't believe in why me. I just believe in, okay, this is what was meant to be. And now I have to look ahead and forge, my way forward. And that's how I've functioned over the last little while. And I have no choice but to be strong. I have no choice but to, give my children a happy home and a home, which is, filled with positivity and love. And that is the way I know now. Like I've said before, not just now, but in previous interviews as well, that I've had a lot of anger and negativity in my life, and I've worked very hard on myself. I've done all kinds of therapy. I've done hypnotherapy and regular therapy and spiritual therapy to get myself to a better place, to get myself into a space of being, maybe not happy for no reason, but in a space of calm and a space of, equilibrium. So I've worked so hard to get to that place that that now it takes a lot to actually sort of derail me. And so that's my path. This is my path. My path now is to keep my children happy and to keep my children and myself going. So it's my children and my work, and that is my focus. And that's the way I'm living my life. It's my children first and my work, and there's nothing else.
You said you took a break from prayer, but did you say at one point, I shall not pray hereafter? And then realize after a certain point that no, you will pray?
No, I took a break from prayer because I have been dealing with so much. So I took a break from prayer, and then I said, you know what? This is not who I am. I've always believed in something. I've always believed in a higher power. And as long as there's faith in the one above and in yourself, you can always carry on. And Vicky, as long as you have faith in yourself and the one above, that gives you strength to carry on.
Absolutely. The anger and negativity which you have spoken about was way back. I mean, you're speaking about the olden days. ये क्यों हो रहा था? मतलब as an actress हो रहा था, in movies हो रहा था, roles के दरमियान हो रहा था, auditions में हो रहा था, क्या हो रहा था?
I've been busy. I've been working. When I'm short of sleep, I've been irritable. I've been angry. I've just had negativity in me. I've been a negative person. I've not looked at the brighter side. Now I look at the brighter side of everything. But there are I've, even work-wise, there were times when you've had the lows, and the lows used to depress me. The lows used to make me sad. The lows used to think that this is it. I've lived with insecurity. I used to think, ab bhi mera kaam khatam hone wala hai. I used to always be looking over my shoulder, thinking any minute now it's going to be all over. And when I had the work, then the overwork would get to me. So I had absolutely no grip over my emotions, and I could not. Now I realize I'm aware. Awareness is a very important part of all of this. So if I'm getting upset or irritable, or I'm angry about something, I can actually take a moment and be aware of what is causing it, or why I'm feeling this way. And awareness is the key. If you realize that you're behaving in a way that is unstable or not all right, then you can, now even before I respond in anger, I can actually take a moment, take a beat, count to 5 before I respond the way I do. We are never in control of the situation, but what we are in control of is our response to situations. So I've come to realize that. And maybe I would just, go with the flow and feel the emotions and be responsible with them earlier. And now I'm a little more responsible with them. That's not to say I don't feel my emotions. That's not to say I don't feel what I'm supposed to feel and don't process what I'm supposed to process. I do. It's just that now I'm more aware. And I think awareness, like I keep saying, is the key. Once you have awareness, you can deal with everything. You can process everything in a different way. We are in control of our response to the situation, not to the situation itself.
When we saw you in Shanti and when we saw you in Kyunki, we were sure that we are going to see Mandira in a spate of shows, TV shows. We saw you in DDLJ, we were sure you're going to be in several movies hereafter. तो ऐसा क्यों हुआ कि हम आपको इतना कम देखते आए इतने सालों में? What was the reason?
Well, here's the thing. I started with acting. I started with Shanti. It was a very popular show. I did a couple of daily soaps after that. And, for a person who's in the creative field as an actor, sometimes doing a daily soap can take the creativity out of you, because it's like you're churning out a lot of episodes, and it's shooting every day. I was shooting 25, 28 days a month. That can squeeze the creativity out of you, And honestly, at that particular point of time, when I'd done Shanti and a show called Aurat, and then I did a show called Kyunki Saas, Kabhi, Bahu, which was very popular, I'd reached a stage of saturation, and I was kind of ready to just, take a break, take a sabbatical. And that's when cricket happened to me. And, from being known as the characters that that were popular and that I was known to play, from being known as character names, I got to be known as Mandira Bedi. And that was a very big step for me. That was like a turning point in my life. And then post that, people just saw me as a host. People just saw me as an anchor, as an MC. And the work that came my way was only that. Even the acting jobs that came my way were, you're playing a presenter, you're playing a cricket commentator, which I didn't do, of course, but those were the kind of roles, acting jobs that came my way. People completely forgot that I was an actor first and an anchor later. So then it was like loads of anchoring jobs. I posted so many reality shows. People forgot I was an actor, and then, the emceeing, anchoring, those kind of jobs were the ones that came my way. And then came the short hair, and then the roles that started coming my way were, like either cop roles or gangster roles or those kind of roles. So I'm just saying, people have gone with the flow with me as well, So also I've said no to more stuff than I've said yes to. Post Dilwale, I got offered to be everybody's sister and bhabhi and best friend, and I didn't want to play those kind of roles when I was playing strong roles on television. So it's just that my life has gone through these phases. First was the acting phase, then came the cricket and sports presenting and anchoring phase, and then post that I've just gotten into a space of fitness. I've gotten into a space of still anchoring. I've got some interesting acting jobs also that have come my way. So it's been a nice mix, and what I have right now is a choice of a lot of things. People are offering me lovely acting jobs as well. People are offering me different kinds of anchoring jobs as well. So it's a nice mix of work that's coming my way right now. And I think in my 40s, the kind of work I'm getting is literally the best work I've had, in my life, qualitatively, quantitatively, in terms of satisfaction, in terms of, feeling fulfilled. I think the work I've got post having my son has been probably the best I've had in my life. I'm very, very grateful for that.
So what kind of roles are you looking at? I mean, when it comes to work, let's say the role of a woman way back 25 years ago was different. And then, it all changed in the last 5 years. So what kind of roles are you looking at?
What's wonderful right now is there's a whole new avenue that's opened up for actors, and that's the web space, that's the OTT space. There's a lot more creativity. There's a lot of stereotyping that used to happen on television and in film. But I think those stereotypes get to be broken on OTT because there's so much more experiment that's happening, and the thing with theatrical releases is that directors and producers work with, what's safe, what's bankable, big names. But when it comes to OTT, there's so much more experimentation in terms of subjects, in terms of the actors who are cast to play those roles. It does not have to be, a big name. It does not have to be a bankable face. Over here, it's about talent. It's about storytelling. So I think this is a wonderful thing that's happened for actors. There's so much work. Right now, when people send me a brief saying, there's this role, I say, okay, now is this for a theatrical release, or is it for an OTT release, or is it for a series, or is it for like a TV show? I've stopped saying, it's ironical. I started my career with doing daily soaps. And now when daily soaps come my way, I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the time to give people. As recently as like a week ago, I got offered a daily soap to be shot in Chandigarh. And that's 25 days a month. And I'm like, I can't move bag and baggage and go to Chandigarh and be there. Even if it's a finite series, I can't be away for 6 months. My children go to school and I need to be in Bombay. So firstly, it's got to be a project that's in Bombay. Yet I do not want to give my 25 days of the month away. At one point, it was great being a part of shows like this. You were busy, you were working, you were visible. But I don't see myself doing daily soaps anymore. I'm looking for finite projects that are, that have a start and a finish. And so I'm just saying things have changed over the years. OTT has come about, and there's a lot more creativity, and there's a lot more finite shows. So that's what I'm looking at, and that's what I'm looking for. And there's lots of interesting, even, if you're looking at films being made for the web space, and lots of lead roles are coming my way. So that feels really nice, because it's no longer about the whole stereotype of there's women of a certain age who get lead roles. That's not the case anymore.
It was heartwarming to see you dancing at Moni Roy's wedding.
Moni is a very dear friend of mine, and I'm very happy to, have been a part of her, wedding celebration with such, it was an intimate, small wedding celebration. And I was very happy to be a part of it. And I was not able to be a part of the pre-wedding celebrations. So when it came to her wedding, I said, I'm going to be present for her. And I needed to be, feeling good and happy. And I told myself that 2022, I'm going to be only onwards and upwards and looking ahead with positivity. And so that's what the wedding was for me. It was me turning a corner.
Would you like to host a cricket tournament again? Say an IPL?
Oh, why not? Why not? I get offered a lot of, cricket hosting still, but I choose not to do it for a news channel, because that's the kind of work that's coming my way, to do it for a news channel. Because if I'm doing cricket again, I'm doing it for the host broadcaster, or I'm not doing it at all. So I just, anything that keeps me away from my children has got to be something that's watched. I don't think I don't think I want to give my time to doing it for a news channel, because I just feel that people watch the programming before, during, and after on the host on the host broadcasters channel and nowhere else. So that's just a choice that I made. So I can choose to be back in cricket tomorrow if I want it, but it keeps me away from my children, and it's got to be something that is being watched. I just don't think that on news channels. I don't think that people who are watching cricket will watch it on a host broadcaster's channel and then go to a news channel to see what I'm saying. So that's where I come from.
Would you like to host a show like Indian Idol or Big Boss or say Lock Up?
I'd like to host a music reality show for sure. I've done lots of those. I've done Indian Idol as well before. A show which has people locked up in a social experiment. I don't think I'd like to participate in it or host it. That's just my choice. I don't watch it either. So,
have you ever got an offer to be a participant in Big Boss?
In Big Boss and the new one that's on air at the moment. Both.
The Lock Up one. But you said no to both. They wanted you to participate in it as a contestant. Talking about kids, Mandira, I'm curious to know ये दोनों का नाम वीर and तारा ये कैसे हुआ and किसने सोचा?
Actually, when I was pregnant, Raj and I decided that if it's a boy, it was just a mutual decision. We thought we didn't have too much of a sort of thing on names. It was not like, let's put a list of 10 names and come with a short list of 5 and then come down to a short list of 3. I just one day thought, I told Raj, I really like the name Veer. It's such a sweet, short, beautiful name. If it's a boy, can we name him Veer? And we also like the name Tara. And I don't know who the name Tara came from, whether it was from Raj or from me. But we said, if it's a girl, let it be Tara. And if it's a boy, let's name him Veer. And so it was a boy, and so we named him Veer. And Raj and I both talked about having one and adopting one. So when we put our papers in for Tara, we already started calling her Tara, saying, okay, when Tara comes, and we told Veer that we put our papers in for adopting a little sister for you, and we're going to call her Tara. So we started calling her Tara before she even was anywhere near our home, before we saw her. It's not like we looked at her and said, oh my, she's a Tara. She was Tara before she was even sort of matched to our family. So Veer and Tara.
This is really nice.
Tara.
It's really nice to know. If Tara had been born first, we would have anyways come. And
if Tara would have been born first, I don't know whether we would have thought of adopting a boy, because I think in our country, there's so many more girls who are up for adoption than maybe we'd have had 2 girls and Tara and something else. But it was meant to be Veer and Tara. And I think, it's lovely to have a brother-sister combination, because Raj has a sister, I have a brother, and that's how we've grown up. And I think that's a nice, healthy sort of, it's nice to have a sibling of the opposite sex.
It's so nice to be talking to such a positive person. I recall you forfeiting your fees for women cricket. I mean,
yes.
And
yeah.
You said, I don't want the fees, let it be for the team and for this whole thing to continue, because women are not paid well.
Yeah. The thing is, women's cricket back in the day, before it became a part of the BCI, women's cricket was left on its own, left to its own devices. There was not enough funding. Honestly, there was a time when a tournament was supposed to be happening a month and a half later, but they didn't know whether they had the money for the tournament to happen even, because that was a time when it was not a part of the BCCI. So I did one endorsement for free so that a tournament could happen, So that, I just felt that, cricket is such a big thing in our country, but why is it that women's cricket gets, left out in the cold? So that was then. And actually, I remember having a conversation with Jagmohan Dalmia saying, I went to Calcutta and I had a meeting with him saying, what are the chances of women's cricket merging with men's cricket? So that was an initial conversation. Of course, it happened later. And I'd like to believe that I planted the seed, but who knows? If it was meant to be, it was meant to be. And I did have that conversation with him. I did meet him at Eden Gardens while he was watching a match. And I said, what are the chances of women's cricket coming under the fold of the BCCI? And many years later, it did happen. And whatever little I could do at the time to encourage the women's cricket team, it was great. And I just think you guys as journalists should give more, space to women's cricket. Because our team did well very recently as well, won a match against Pakistan. So I think we should promote women's cricket all around, be it on our social media handles or be it on in the media. They need to be when they do well, they need to be given that little boost and that little encouragement and that little congratulations. No, big congratulations.
Proud of you, Mandira. Proud of you. I wish to tell the viewers here, I didn't see any negativity or anger when I met you for the first time, which you're talking about the way days, of old. You were such a warm person even then. I remember you were my first interview of my life when I started off as a journalist in 2000. And you were in the show Kyunki, and I had dropped in at your place at Car. And
Yes.
I came, I think, at least an hour late without understanding that what a time means to an actor and what I'm doing. But I still knocked the door and you still welcomed me in, and you gave me nearly an hour, and you and Raj came till the gate to see me off. And I shall never forget that, ever.
I think that's something that Raj has taught me. Anyone who comes to our house, we drop them right to the gate, and we greet them well, we welcome them well, we make them feel at home, and I drop every single guest who comes to my house, be it people who come for work or be it people who come to see me as my friends. It's an Indian bye-bye, we like to drop people right to the gate, right to their cars. That's, I think, the culture of my family, as well as, the way Raj used to like to do things.
Thank you, Mandira. Thank you so much for this interview. It means a lot.
Thank you, Vicky. I have to say, it's been so many years. It's lovely to see all the wonderful work that you're doing. You've come a long way as well. And yes, it feels really nice that I was a part of I was your first interview. And yes, we go back a long way. It's lovely to see all the lovely work you're doing, all the great work you're doing, and the space that you're in as well. And, always such a pleasure to talk to you. I'm really happy to be doing this interview with you, and I wish you continue to grow from strength to strength.
Thank you, Mandira. Like you stemmed off, you said, by talking to Dalmia, you stemmed off my journey as well.
Great. Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mandira.